Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Valvoline and Sparesbox. Don't forget BCW5 on checkout. This week we're down here at Sydney Motorsport Park. We've got the Lexus and we've got the Silvia. We're going to break stuff, we're going to have fun for the most part, and some sad stuff happens. Let's do it.
I feel the need for speed. Too much handbrake.
Well, my hard luck story with the ELS continues. This 6 litre that we kind of refreshed, but still had original rods and original pistons and basically standard bottom end just with a couple of new bits in it, has also let go. I don't know what's wrong with it yet, but it is catastrophic. The thing sounds like, I don't know, 10 bricks in a cement mixer. So it sounds to me like it's probably snapped a rod. It was on song right up until it wasn't. So I was basically going through the last corner, pretty well flat out. I was on the limiter in third. And admittedly, I'd been warned not to be on the limiter, but here we are. It is what it is. So yeah, like I said, we're going through the last corner. Was pretty well mid-corner, and I heard like a pop sound. And as soon as I heard a pop, it wasn't running on all cylinders. So I got off immediately off the track, went to the left, turned it off. I was like, oh, I'll restart it, see how bad it could be. It was that bad, so basically stayed on the grass, came through the infield because I didn't know if it was actually leaking oil at the time. Oil's definitely coming out of it, but it wasn't hemorrhaging at litres at a time. So yeah, I basically drove it all the way down the grass, came down and just stayed on the apron here to make sure that there was no oil on the racing surface. But I'm a little bit at a loss, but I think from here on in, we're just going to build an engine properly. I'm not exactly sure what the plan's going to be yet. I would love to do something stroked with high comp, but at the end of the day, it's going to depend on what that's going to actually cost, because this was supposed to still be a relatively budget-friendly car. So a wild stroked bored out engine is going to be $10,000 or more, which I don't really have the budget for right now. The Sigma may be for sale sooner than I thought to fund this thing. Just the curse of drifting. Adam's car hasn't gone home unscathed tonight either. He took me for a bit of a sympathy passenger lap, and on our second last lap out, didn't quite get the line right through turn 5 and went over the ripple strip. And I was actually wincing as we went over the ripple strip watching the oil pressure. Oil pressure was sweet. We came in and I just saw a few drops of oil in the pit garage here. Stuck my head under and there's just a constant stream of oil actually coming out of the sump. So there's going to be plenty of work ahead. If you don't like drift cars and fixing them, sorry, but we're going to be fixing these cars in the next few weeks on the channel. So the sump's got to come off Adam's car. The engine's going to come out of this. I don't know, as I said, what the process is going to be yet, but it is what it is. We're going to start packing up and keep on going. It's one of those stroker cranks where it hits the sump. Well, unfortunately, this is motorsport. This is the bad side of it when you break your stuff and you're sad at the end of the night. But that being said, when the car was working, it was fantastic, and it's definitely reignited my passion for this car. It's going to be fun to pull it apart again, and now we get to make more videos because we break stuff. So I think going forward, like I said before, we're going to probably do a built motor. I'd love to do something stroked and high comp, but it's going to come down to dollars. So yeah, depending on what we can work out behind the scenes, we'll see what we end up with. But I think definitely the way forward is no more standard 6 litre rods, because evidently I can turn those things into bananas like no one's business. yeah, we got work to do. Adam's car's, the sump's got to come off of it, which in that car is going to be a bit of a nightmare because it's so close to the cross member. There's no way to actually get it out without pulling the cross member out. So I think I'll probably try and suspend the engine, drop the cross member, then drop the sump out that way rather than trying to pull the engine out, because that in itself is a massive undertaking in that car. Because the VH45 is so wide, there's so much stuff's got to come off it. So I'd much prefer to leave the engine in place, pull the cross member out, and then pull the sump out that way. But we're not going to know till we actually dive in and pull it apart. Sad times for Lexus. It's really making me sad, but we'll get there in the end, onwards and upwards. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.